Hello and welcome to the NetSuite Nonprofit Suite Success video series. In the next 10 minutes, we'll be taking a tour of NetSuite focusing on the Development Director role in our Suite Success program. If you've spoken with someone at NetSuite prior to watching this video, it's likely you're about to attend an alignment call with your account executive and members of our solutions team. Since this video is focused on the Development Director role in a nonprofit context, you should know that you can find an overview video for the Suite Success program on our YouTube channel and playlist. This presentation will start with a very brief overview of the Suite Success program that you've already heard about from our previous Overview for Nonprofits recording and from the NetSuite people that you've already met from our team. We'll consider what Suite Success has to offer the Development Director's areas of responsibilities, mainly donor relationships and fundraising reporting. Then we'll continue by taking a quick tour of the application suite with a focus on the role-specific dashboards and metrics to help in the day-to-day operations of your organization. Before we jump into our content, we're obliged by our legal team to display this slide just in case there are any forward-looking statements made during the presentation. When you think about what makes NetSuite truly unique for nonprofits, it comes down to how we leverage the leading practices that we've built into our Suite Success offering and implementation services. After over 750 successful nonprofit implementations, we've discovered that there's a tremendous amount of commonality between these deployments. Nonprofit organizations like yours walk through our leading practices approach, and we work together as a team to create a successful implementation approach and priority. To help organizations realize the value of NetSuite on day one, we've created over 250 pre-built reports, dashboards, and business intelligence tools into the product, ensuring that our customers have a strong foundation for running their organization and getting up and running in less than 100 days. Suite Success provides these predefined roles to ensure that your people hit the ground running and that user adoption of the solution is increased. Today, we're just focusing on the Development Director. In the Development Director role, we're mainly concerned with users that have responsibilities regarding the management of constituent relationships over time and the associated revenues of donation management systems, grants, program offerings, and related funds. The intent of this role in Suite Success is to take the complicated responsibilities across these critical areas of your organization and focus the user experience to gain efficiency and assurances that the revenue-generating functions have been properly addressed. During the alignment call you have scheduled, our team will step through each of these process areas in detail. For today's demonstration purposes, we'll simplify things to get you familiar with the NetSuite user interface and how to add new constituent records and revenue transactions like conditional pledges, foundation grants, and matching cash donations. Let's log in and consider some typical activities for the Development Director role. In our dashboards, users have easy access to navigation portlets and links to frequently used forms for tasks like those that we'll see today. While working in NetSuite, users' common tasks like shortcuts and reminders make data entry faster with fewer errors, resulting in improved business processes. Let's enter a new constituent. Here we have a simple forms-based approach, and if needed, users can choose forms depending on specific behaviors that may be required after data entry. When we enter details like email address, the automation is built in for communications, as we see in the invoicing later in this demonstration. Today we're entering a new individual and will relate them to an existing organization. Michael Smith as an employee of the City of Danville, for example. A single constituent record can have many relationships. Michael might sit on the board of a local nonprofit as well, for example. These relationships are used for matching gifts, reporting, and other fundraising matters of importance to our Development Director. Back on our dashboard, note that a user can choose to navigate via the portlets or through a more traditional menu navigation tree like the one we set up for the Nonprofit Solution Center. Here's where we can enter a new conditional pledge from the City of Danville. The city wants to pledge $10,000 to the upcoming pet parade if matching donations from the public exceed $10,000. As we enter the transaction details, the reporting segmentation can be done by a Suite key as we showed in our previous demo, or manually entered like this to be sure we track and report on this transaction properly. When we save the conditional pledge, we'll want a reminder to assure that we bill this if the conditions are met through our fundraising efforts. We'll bill it later in the demonstration. For a reminder, this NetSuite task can be used since we're creating it from the pledge. It will be linked to the transaction and will alert us to be sure the billing doesn't fall through the cracks. On the first of the month, the system will remind us and link back to the original pledge transaction. We'll come back to this task to close it out later in the demonstration. We'll set priority, start, and due dates, and leave ourselves a reminder in the message field in order to assure the task gets the proper attention should we arrive at the due date without completing it. Returning from the task creation, we can see that the link is maintained on the Communication tab of the transaction for those with access to view it. Now let's consider other revenue-related transaction types that the director will need to manage. Let's say that the matching gift program for Future Vision employees from 2016 is being renewed for 2017. Another simple form. Here we're going to just copy last year's gift into the new year and save it to keep things simple and timely for our director. Now when we enter a donation from an employee of Future Vision, we can tag their donation and report back to Future Vision on all matching donations in order to bill them back with the documentation and details included. To have a donation to match with this, we'll enter one quickly from an employee, Ann Winston. Here we see the entry of a donation from Ann. Let's enter the related information about the Pet Parade event and contribution attributes, and then on the Matching Gift tab, we're just going to assign it to the program we just created to be sure Future Vision knows that Ann's contribution will be included in the matching amount. Whether this is entered manually through an integration or via a simple import from another donation system, we can associate the donation to the matching program in order to provide reporting back to the employer when we bill for the matching amounts in their program. From the dashboard, now we can see some operational statistics that our director will want to take action on. Here's a search portlet used to show giving statistics by program. Note Danville Abandoned Pets has gone over the target of $10,000. And just above, in a related search, we see the Future Vision matching donations from their program. All of this visibility right from the director's homepage. From within the portlet, we can see the matching statistics for 2017, and now we're able to bill them due to a large donation by Mr. Hart. Let's download this for backup on our invoice, or we can email the data directly from here to expedite if needed. Let's build the Future Vision matching program first. Since our users manually invoicing these one at a time, they'll simply use the one-click invoicing, allowing the ability to save and email the invoice directly from the system, saving time and producing better billing results. Just a quick note here for the accountants that all the segmentation is included at the line item level in the invoice for the GL affecting transactions, and reports affected by this invoice are immediately updated when the record's created and saved. Note also that the Communication tab still contains the invoice links for future reference. Back on our dashboard, when we refresh our search portlet, one highlighted transaction drops off, leaving just the billing for the Danville Pets conditional pledge, which we can send immediately. Now that it's done, we can close off our tasks since our invoices are out the door and we're almost done with our demonstration. Let's just mark our tasks as complete. Often tasks and approval workflows trigger alerts within the NetSuite that keep your entire team up to date on the latest transaction changes. Let's mark these as complete with today's date and return back to our dashboard to complete the demonstration today. If we look at our dashboard now, there's nothing highlighted that needs our attention, and our metrics on the portlets will update automatically based on the invoices that were just created. Since we build new donations without adding any fundraising expenses, our efficiency metric drops from 32 to 29 cents spent for every dollar raised. Still more work to be done there, but we're moving in the right direction. Now that we're back from our demonstration to review what's been seen and what's next to do. Today, we touched on the Suite Success approach to constituent management, creating new records and relationships between individuals and organizations. Our leading practices in these areas will be reviewed in great detail in the alignment call as part of our next steps. We also just showed a small portion of functionality around revenue management transactions like donations and pledges, and we'll also cover the Suite Success leading practice areas like these in detail during your alignment call. Before we wrap up, let's not forget the large number of Suite Success pre-built reminders, alerts, reports, and dashboard elements included as standard objects in every implementation on day one. When we next meet, we'll be discussing specific leading practices and metrics in areas like those that development directors are responsible for managing, which we saw today. We intend to map and align your current process requirements with the Suite Success leading practice in each functional area in order to be sure that we create the optimal implementation strategy for you going forward. Thank you for your time today, and look for more Suite Success videos on our playlist.